Hey, hi, hello, what's up? We have a new chapter of Dr. Stone. In the last one, they managed to fly by all three nets of Stanley's attack, the final one being, of course, the airplane, the dreaded airplane. But they already took care of that like 5 chapters ago. Before they even set sail for South America, they dumped a bunch of sugar in it. So as they recover the plane and try to puzzle out what went wrong, they're radioing in to their buddy back at headquarters, who, of course, is the mechanical genius. They're going to fix up the plane and hunt down the Junior Science Brigade. Okay, so that explains a lot about how they're actually going to be a threat in this arc. I thought at first that Senku had done it. They had such a massive head start. The other team doesn't really know where they're going, and doesn't have the rubber, the wheels to get there with any sort of speed whatsoever. But if their plan is to patch up the plane, get it flying again, and track them down, that makes a lot more sense. And I kind of like that idea, a looming overhead threat, that any day they could hear the plane's engines in the distance and know that the chase is back on. Okay, a cute little joke about remote work too, very timely, of course. So that's our villain side. Here, the science team side. Enemy's not even encoding their message. Works for us. So they know that they're planning on building the plane back up. They don't really have anything to do about it. Be so sure we can fight back with some remote work of our own. Get word to the ceasefire zone team about the supercritical mission. By the time we reach ground zero, they've got to take apart the Medusa and analyze the mechanism. Who? Who among those that are left behind is up for the task? Actually, Yuzuriha, with her cheat code level crafting skills, might be able to dissect it, and then through this remote work relay her findings empirically back to the science team, and Senku can puzzle out just through visualization maybe what's been going on. This is really exciting though, because of course this is tech the likes of which the Stone World or the modern world has never seen. Some fundamental lore to the series is going to be uncovered here if they can figure out who manufactured this, or even when, where, how, with what materials. All of these clues not just speaking to the Medusa mechanism itself, but to the identity of Y-Man, to his motives. Very, very exciting, very exciting. So I'm very curious how this is going to be paced, like how much of Mad Max Across the Desert Adventures we're getting versus back in the lab in home base. So they bluffed throwing it, but Homura here, that's Homura, right? She's always doing the duckfish, seeking it out. They've got little scuba-esque systems. Supposed to revive 1 million people in Corn City, which eventually means dealing with sick and injured folk. If we can't figure out what makes the Medusa tick, then whenever anyone needs a doctor, we'll fix them up with Dr. Stone instead. Ha! Yes, Dr. Stone. I really like this idea that in the end, they won't have just recreated modern society as we know it, but a modern society where like illness and injury cease to exist, a utopia beyond what people could have ever dreamt of in modern day, even with all their technologies. It speaks to me, a tiny little clue of just the tremendous triumph that awaits at the end of the series. Okay, so she makes a good argument here. Oh, she was the one finding it? Wait, no. That was Homer still. Anyways, that they ought to figure out how it works. Fair enough, but I got no cause to turn it down. This feels kind of setting. Timing's fishing, unless I'm just overthinking things. I almost forgot that Nikki and the US crew don't know that we're headed for the source of the Petrobeam. This is kind of interesting. Many, many layers of different knowledge. Many different subsets that line up strangely with people's intents and motives and stuff. But yeah, essentially they can all pretend to work together under the guise of camaraderie and stuff, while having vastly different motives and expected outcomes. It's nice, that sort of tension that builds up with that kind of web. So when we get there, the original Medusa that zap the whole planet will be ours. Okay. The Mega Medusa could be dead. Seems like it might be dead after petrifying the entire world. But they do need some sort of weapon against Stanley. Something only Medusa can beat him. His cheat code level military strength, plus of all the weaponry and stuff they have. Not even Tsukasa can do it. I get it working again through remote work. We'll get him to pry it open and do a total autopsy. The mechanisms inside. Get Yuzuriha! I mean, I guess Brody is like a mechanical genius too. But this is very, very delicate stuff. Okay. So they're coming up with ground rules of who gets to look at it, who gets to touch it. Cracks formed when Stanley shot it. Oh, okay, Yuzuriha's there. That's good. Magma wants to swing in with the axe. Technician used to working on delicate machinery. This is full of high-grade watchmakers, famous jewelry crafters. That's right. This is an option again. They can revive people. New characters could just start literally popping out of the ground. So that'd be kind of cool if they got a real mechanical specialist. Because Yuzuri has some of the skills, Brody has some of the skills, but there's nobody that's going to be an actual expert in this sort of tiny, tiny, tiny delicate machinery. Classy watchmakers. The one I know might be a bit of trek from here. But Rodex cute, like Rolex. HQ is near the airport. Everybody knows that. Yeah, this is Rusui's heritage as a rich boy coming through. This is a nice little cozy scene. Everybody having fun under the desert moon. Charlotte looking like she's doing hand-pulled noodles, maybe? Tough giving directions with the world as it is. Oh my gosh. Cheat code level map making. Oh, this series is just so fun. Everybody's so good at stuff. Beam that map to Yuzuriha in the Geisenkorn city. Beam it over? Beam? How? What? Okay, it's time to send a fax! I love how... This is something that the series does well, I think, where Senkyu is like, okay, it's time to send a fax. and first the modern people freak out because they're like, what the heck? How are you going to make a fax machine in the stone world? And then the stone world people, once a fax machine has been explained to them, they're like, what the heck? How could such a thing even exist? Let alone making one in the stone world. There's just that kind of like two-wave. Okay, the fax machine is ready. Aha, they're gonna send it over in binary code, I think. Senku has encoded the image by hand, by the way, which is totally insane. It reminds me of a video that maybe I'll show you a little bit of at the end of this. But conceivably, yeah, the fax machine just sends over audio information on the phone line, right? Specifically, it's sending, I think, just totally binary information about how to recreate the image on the other side, like pixel by pixel. So conceivably, yeah, you can hand encode and hand decode that. What? Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot, though. Oh my gosh. This is fantastic. This is like... Oh man, the fact that the artist had to do this, had to draw what Senkyu drawed, which of course is the act of a maniac genius. Just like the depth of knowledge that's encased in here. Again, it kind of reminds me of this video that I'm alluding to, which hopefully I'll remember to show you a bit of at the end. But yeah, just the way that people can interface with encoded information is really fascinating to me. We talked before about the encoding of the maps of Pacific Islanders that they use to make like wave charts and stuff. Just this idea of like expanding information out of a grid, that a complex map, a ton of information, distances that are way too far apart to be drawn to scale, that all of that can be encoded into something that is so grid-like and mathematical and kind of repetitive. So cool. Okay. So Gun freaks out. Senkyu is really proud of his map. His encoded map. I should have known. Every square starting from the upper left is indicated as either black or white via Morse code. faxing by hand. Why is Gen doing it? Tezuka once did something similar to draw some manga remotely while abroad. I want to learn more about that. What? What? Tezuka drew manga while working abroad? This is unreal. Okay. Yuzuriha. So I don't. Okay, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, sure. So they have the map. They go find the Star Watchmaker. Very crazy character designs. They're his employer first. The CEO is just very surprisingly nonchalant for being revived after thousands of years. yeah, you know. I get it. Finally, a normal reaction, yeah. Usually guys who revive are on a whole nother mental level. Yeah, this guy seems like he's on another mental level too. Yeah. He's never learned how to act around women. Wow, he made a watch already. Just while killing time. Killing time for a watchmaker? Anyways. Jeez. Okay, this is a fun character. The series has really opened itself up in a wonderful way to have all of these almost guest characters. I have no sense that this guy is going to be a major returning character, but he can establish himself really quickly. He can have some quirks. You can imagine what his life must have been like pre-petrification, and they have so many excuses to unearth so many such people. It's so much fun. It really speaks to the strength of the premise that they kind of saved this aspect for so long. Well, you know, bit by bit, they've been having this sort of plot. Oh, we need an expert in whatever. I think I know where to find one. They revive them. What the heck is going on? And then they incorporate themselves into the plot a little bit. But now it seems like they can ramp it up into overdrive with all of the tools they have available to themselves and basically the unlimited amount of revival fluid. So yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. Isn't from any science known to the 21st century. I'm going to focus. Observe if you so choose, but a single word and you will die by my hands. It's funny to me that like this pivotal of all pivotal moments, these gigantic lore revelations, is being delivered with such a bizarre character. Matsukaze did tell us that the Medusas on the island were all destroyed. The reason I couldn't just smash the thing with one of them tools. Most of the components are remarkably complex, as if made with a 3D printer. And the circuitry is glass or perhaps some sort of mineral. Can't begin to comprehend how it functions, yet just like a watch, it's clear that every piece has its function. This bit is blackened. Okay, the central core that everything else connects to is a diamond. So, replacing the diamond could recharge the battery. That could be the thing that drained it as a power supply. Okay. Grazer. Okay. But why did the watchmaker guy activate it? Why did they tell him how to activate? That seems sus. You probably shouldn't tell him the phrasing and coding and stuff to activate it. Who knows if you just unearthed some sort of psychopath? Literally all you know is that he's good at making watches. And sure enough, 1 meter, 1 second, it springs back to life. Okay, so he just was very nobly testing it on himself. It wasn't that he had some sudden homicidal impulse to petrify the entire village. Phew. He could have. Phew. But yeah, the Medusa is back online. So now it seems like the quest might be, just as my quest has become in Minecraft, to find a big diamond. to get a gigantic enough diamond that the original Medusa weapon can spring back to life. I could very easily see that being a plot. Get some mining in. Some mining and crafting. Ha ha ha. Alright, cool chapter. Crazy new character. Lots of fun to be had. We don't. We haven't learned really too much more about the Medusa, who could have made it, when, why, how. Just this clue that in the end the power source seems to be a diamond, which has like kind of some analog type like what am I trying to say here? There's technology that actually exists that makes this seem semi-feasible, such as quartz watches, where the quartz crystal, for whatever mineral property it has, is just always vibrating very, very slightly, and the timing of the watch is based on that. Or even in computers, there's often a piece of quartz doing some timing functions, right? Yeah, the crystal oscillator is what we're talking about here. So something similar being in the Medusa, sure, I'll give it that for supernatural technology. Okay, I wanted to show you one of the most outrageous human endeavors ever. So this channel, which is a fantastic channel, did a multi-part series. First, they talked about why MissingNo looks the way it does, breaking down the data that gets accessed and how that turns into the specific appearance of MissingNo. Then they fixed it. They took out some of the glitches and stuff that occur when you're trying to parse that data as a sprite, and so you can see the real MissingNo if you want. It is also totally just a glitchy mess, of course, but it's one that doesn't cause any additional unnecessary errors. And then they talked about just Pokemon sprite decompression in general, how it goes from a very optimized, very compressed binary sequence to a 2D image with like 4 different shades. And then the ultimate challenge. Given just this sheet of binary numbers, will this maniac be able to draw a Pokemon sprite? And the answer, of course, after 4.5 grueling hours of being a human computer, he does it. Isn't that amazing? And Senkyu did it in like half a chapter, so get on his level. Retro Game Mechanics Explained. But yeah, I think this is awesome. This was a charity project. He streamed it for charity. Really, really cool idea. Really amazing to see it kind of come together. Not that I've watched the whole thing, but I skipped through it. And who's ever done something like this? It's beautiful. Okay, bye-bye.